What is their secret for staying together for so long? Oh yeah, they're on that show about the raping.
It's burp in there. All right. Hey, you, buddy.
Yeah?
Did you do it? If you did it, you're going to jail for a long time and be a registered sex offender. Did you? Yeah, got him. Next episode.
Alright guys, I'll see you later. I'm just gonna walk home.
Sarah, sure you don't want me walking home? Sure? Big tall guy like me, scary out there. Very dangerous.
I'll be fine.
Boom, Sarah gets raped. Yeah! Next episode.
I feel like Tom Cruise. These glasses on. Maybe he was a rapist.
Yeah! Gonna rape. It's the best. Alright. Yeah!
Hi. I'm sorry about that. That was a really excessive opening. Tomorrow's a big show, a weekly show, but I wanted to talk about Farrow V Allen on HBO. I watched this show, and it really got to me. I'm going to talk about it more tomorrow, but it got to me. It made me think about my parents' divorce stuff, and not in a good way. It was like a flashback, like, I don't know, like that thing that happens when they like hypnotize you and you realize you were actually probed by aliens, It's just like, that was a dream. That was a dream, doctor. No, actually, I'm quite certain, given what you said, that it was real. What did I say? Well, let me play the tape for you. And so I was walking into my room, and then the lights took me. They took me up into the ship, and they stuck the big dildo up my ass. Oh my god! Oh, and they're small green things with the eyes. The eyes. So those of you who don't know the characters involved with the show's premise, basically a 56-year-old man who's never been accused of anything wrong in his life, really, except neuroticism. Woody Allen, the famed director, Midnight in Paris, Match Point. So I guess I like Kung Pao chicken, but I don't like hives, so my peanut allergies are relevant. That guy. And Mia Farrow, the famed, gorgeous actress, Farrow family, famous. Woody, at the age of 56, is alleged to have sexually assaulted his daughter, Dylan. And this came after his love affair with Mia's adopted sexy Asian daughter, Soon Yi, Previn. It was found out through sexually explicit pictures that Mia found, and then all of a sudden, almost immediately, there was this allegation that Woody is in fact a sexual predator. It's a bit unusual for someone to have a favorite thing and then only do it once, especially that late in the game. Like, I like blueberry ice cream, or blueberry pie with coffee ice cream, I should say. Some people like hopscotch, some people like swimming, some people like tennis. But usually they like it and they do it more often than not. It's not their one-time thing, it's like a hobby. Like, I've never met anyone who's like, I'm really into pizza. God, I can't wait to do that again in my next life. Well, you can have pizza tonight. No, it's one time only. It's weird to just do something once, Like, you do it a lot if you like it. And it doesn't have to be your favorite thing. Like, it doesn't have to be but in the top 5. Like, most pedophiles, that's like their favorite thing. I think. But say if it's not, they're still gonna do it more than once. It's like, so it's weird. He's 56 years old, and it's weird to be accused of something and to never have any other allegations from any other people ever. A man who's been in therapy for like 38 years of his life for neuroticism, maybe depression and all these other things, but like his therapist said, that wasn't the thing. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then the whole situation's weird. Farrow had put Allen on notice back in '92 that she considered him a pedophile, child molester, telling friends and family. Was it July '92? Weeks later, like in August, she was out of the house shopping. She warns the babysitter that Allen must not be left alone with Dylan. the young 6 years, really young at the time, singling out Dylan's name specifically. Okay. Yet she does nothing to stop a man who she believes is sexually assaulting her daughter from entering the house. Now, if someone was assaulting my daughter, they'd be dead. But, like, in general, say you're a woman, you're a single mother, you make sure you have someone there to make sure that guy to stay away. Then she lets this guy walk into the house. Says, by the way, keep an eye on him. He's fucking my daughter, but just keep an eye on him. What? Bullshit. But I digress, because it's not really the point. What HBO's decided to do with the show, sensationalism, selling media, whatever, or just taking one side of an argument. It's really frustrating because it's so polarized. It's one side, the whole one side of it. Say, let this documentary of art speak for itself. Yeah, fine, but what does this mean for families in general? And like, what are you doing? Like, is this healthy? Like, to just, you've no moral, like, responsibility whatsoever to how this is portrayed. Like, and like, you're talking about a guy who got away through the Me Too movement with like nothing. The accusations have been there since the 90s. Where are the other women coming out saying, hey, he's awful. Well, he fucked me when I was 2. And like, I remember he took my diapers off when I was 3, says Michelle, Johnson at the age of 36 now, finally coming forward. None of that. It's just this one thing that's been like plaguing him for years. And it happened directly after Mia found out about his love affair with their other daughter, Soon Yi, who's of consenting age at the time, like 19, 21. Yes, that's gross. Yes, it's weird. But if you love who you love, whatever. But it is, the timing of it's very odd. Oh, whole life, no one ever suspected anything of Woody Allen other than being a nerd or a goofy guy, very incredibly talented. But then all of a sudden now he's a child molester because he ended up sleeping with your daughter, and it's like they're still together, married now, like years later, 30 years of Soon Yi and Woody Allen. I mean, it's bad circumstances, but that's what happened. Should Mia be upset about it, getting older as a woman, this young girl that she took in as an adopted, sexy Asian daughter? Yes, she should be upset. But to accuse someone of rape, use children, like this brings me back to my thing with my parents. Like, I don't talk about it. It's just, I remember the psychiatrist, like the kind of coaching, like your father did what? Not sexual. It's just not in the sexual way. All the sex I had with my dad was consensual. But just like the same thing. And like, so let's play this out. So this woman allows this child molester into her house multiple times. And in a 10 or 20 minute window, Allen takes Dylan into a crawl space in the attic. A place where allegedly it's just not possible for 2 people to even like be at the same time. It's just not, there's no room. But, okay. And engages in an act of sexual assault against his daughter that would land him in jail, ruin his career, he'd lose him money, everything over. Okay. The nanny at the time, Christy Grodick, was kind of ambivalent about testifying. This is a few passages from her book, Mia and Woody, Love and Betrayal, co-written by Marjorie Rosen for Carroll and Graf Publishers back in '94. I should have been more confident. I had been in witness preparation for about 2 weeks before I testified. Why would you need to be in witness preparation for that? It's weird. But okay. I was terrified that I couldn't do it and would let Mia down. Why were you worried that you couldn't do it? Because maybe from your perspective, there's nothing to corroborate the allegation? That's really gross. We're talking about gross, like lying about like someone assaulting a child for the sake of spite. Ugh, it was an hour before I was supposed to testify. I sat between Mia's friend Casey Pascal and her children's French tutor Sophie Berger, who were probably French Berger, who were also about to take the stand. My composure evaporated. After all, I was about to recount the events of August 4th, 1992, the summer afternoon when my lapsed vigilance, under my lapsed vigilance. Woody spent about 10 or 20 minutes alone with his adopted daughter Dylan, and during that time allegedly sexually molested her. And to tell the truth, in my heart, I hadn't the foggiest notion of whether or not the molestation took place. So what's the prepping for? You're not a primary witness. You weren't there. You were in the house, but not there. This is so weird. It's like, how are you substantial in terms of your perception other than maybe anecdotes about behavior previously? Like, it's very weird. I fear that I might not trip things up for me. I felt that I might trip things up for me and I didn't want to. I feared that I would incriminate Woody without ever really be certain what had done. I didn't want to do that either. So if his behavior previous to this event suggested that he was like this, would he even have these ambivalent feelings? Probably, but not to the extent that she's explaining here. It'd be a bit more like, oh, I saw weird things, but did he actually do that? You'd qualify this. It's very weird. Allen submitted to a lie detector test, and this was criticized in the media. It was criticized on the show by saying that Connecticut didn't accept it. He refused a Connecticut state lie detector test, which is not true, but that also the courts would not admit his lie detector test. Well, no court in the land of the United States accepts lie detector tests. All 50 states, they're not admissible in court. So the way you phrase that is very manipulative. Producers of the show, and I can't remember all their names, but they're critically acclaimed documentarian people and journalists in their own right. But it's like, this doesn't mean they're not biased or that they're trying to sell something for the sake of money. It's gross. My mom was a model, obviously. Hi. No, I'm kidding. And my dad was, short investment banker. My mom's family was rich. My dad was rich. And my mom died of breast cancer. But my mom was 36 when she got married for the first time. My dad was on his second marriage when he met my mom. Probably not a good pick, Mom. But why was my mom a model in 36, dated Harrison Ford, Al Pacino? I remember my tennis camp right under my bunk. Al Pacino's son lives here. He likes tennis. Great, wonderful. Love those kids. Such nice people. My mom was crazy. That's why she didn't get married before 36. And my dad's nuts too. So, can you imagine what this is? Oh, I'm fucked. So yeah, that's... But my mom's hate towards my father probably cheated on her, I believe, and it was abusive. The coaching that I witnessed on that show, or that I reading, you don't have to watch the show. Everything that's already happened. It's like seeing the Titanic. It's like, in the movie, like what's going to happen? You kind of know. It's all about whether Jack actually gets up on that door floating in the water with Rose or not. Like, God, I hope he can fit. But yeah, it's really grotesque what our society does towards accepts in terms of sensationalism and media coverage to push what seems like a true good thing, which is like protecting women, protecting children, but sometimes intentionally ignores facts for the sake of selling. Like if you're an investigative journalist, like Ronan Farrow, for example, you sometimes will be in positions where the facts don't fit and you've done all this work and you have to abandon the story. In Ronan's case, he's been accused of not fact-checking and admitted so. But it's all been under this one specific way of covering media, which is through sex and the rape and sexuality. It's like this whole thing that happened in the past with Woody ending up with his adopted sister Soon Yi has led to this snowball effect that has affected him in his adult life. And I can only imagine the things that have happened with my parents' divorce that lasted forever, and the court battles and the money that has had a horrible negative impact on me. And the victims in that, the person that my mother wishes to assail, my father, I'm the one that's getting hurt, and my brother. And in this case, it's Dylan and it's Ronan. And you don't know how severe those consequences really are. Dylan was in therapy before this for having trouble mixed with interpreting reality versus fiction. She was in a fantasy world. She was having trouble with this, determining the difference. She was in therapy for that. And they accused Woody of being in therapy, but again, it was just personal therapy. He was in therapy before this, not for this. This is not it. And the allegations that he had inappropriate affection towards Dylan previously, it's because he felt that Mia was ignoring Dylan and obsessed with Ronan. He was trying to like balance the equation as a parental unit, but the inappropriate behavior was explicitly explained as not sexual, like overly concerned, overly protective, that, not sexual. And the psychiatrist explained this, and it's like, well, why do you like ignore that? You just talk about, oh, his inappropriate behavior was already existing before the allegation, so therefore it's true. But that doesn't sell well, so you ignore that part about it not being sexual, and explicitly explained by the doctors. And also, like, why haven't the Me Too people gone after Woody? Probably because they know the facts have been there for a while, or the documentation of this event through third parties. And stuff. There's no facts. It's like an unfalsifiable claim. Except if you want to use like Occam's razor of logic, it's one thing. But the people that have been hurt by this are the kids. I want to like kind of end with this statement by Gail Collins, a journalist, back in '92 after Allen's press conference, where he refuted everything that Farrow said. We have come to a point in this country where the idea of one parent making up a sexual charge of sexual abuse to gain points in a court case does not sound at all far-fetched. This is back in '92. This kind of thing happens every day. Our legal system has become so warped that divorce lawyers are now using child abuse charges as their favorite assault weapon. Every client seems to have a friend whose lawyer is doing it, said Lewis Newman, a veteran divorce attorney with Moore, Wool, and Newman. I had clients walk in and say flat out, why can't we claim my husband is abusing the child? Fuck. The people who play this game throw a shadow over all the spouses who make child abuse claims in good conscience. For instance, the Allen case began when Farrow took her daughter to a pediatrician and asked him to check for signs of sexual abuse. This is exactly what any right-thinking parent would do if she was concerned about molestation. It actually, really upsets me. You can see, but it bothers me. It's wrong to like use children this way. It really is. Like, I don't know what HBO's position is for the rest of the series. It's four episodes, but it's just inherently wrong to at least maybe say we don't agree or disagree. We're independent of the actual art. It's just so inherently dangerous because there are real victims. You're belittling them, and it's not a good thing. So I think it's really not. I'm not saying Dylan's like not telling the truth. What I am saying is there's an entirely other side of the story that is it's much stronger, and the damage done by not putting any light, the media, journalism on that side, not to balance, not for the sake of objectivity, but because it's not profitable, because then there's no story, because it's so much more, there's so much more evidence to refute the claim, but that's not good business. That's disgusting to me. It's really, really bothering me, actually. It's messed up. I was really surprised that I got like emotional thinking about that, because it like just brought me back to my parents, and it's just like, I don't think my mom had any idea like what she was doing. Like, she didn't, for my mom's family, she didn't need money from my father, and it's just to hurt my father. You just ended up hurting me and my brother. So yeah, I don't know. Watch the show. Watch the series if you want to. If not, but I'm going to talk about it more tomorrow on the main show. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.